Jannik Sinner gets his first big title. He gets his first Masters title in Toronto. He gets up to a career high, number 6 in the world, and he gets to a career 41-11 on the 2023 season, which is really just a staggering record, 79% win percentage, and just that win percentage keeps getting better and better. Like last year before, he was getting to quarterfinals, losing in quarterfinals, but since then, this year, he's been losing in semifinals, finals, and finally, he converts his third Masters final into a title. It was his first final of a big tournament, so Masters, Slam, ATP Finals, Olympics. It was his first final of a big tournament that wasn't at Miami. It was in Canada, which was unexpected because, listen, Sinner's gotten deep in most of these big tournaments now. This was his 13th quarterfinal of a big tournament, and he's gotten at least quarterfinal or better at most of these Masters. He had never even reached quarterfinal at Canada. He lost last year round of 16 to Carreno Busta, who ended up winning the tournament. He lost like 6-2, 6-4. Carreno Busta with a revenge win over their tight match in Miami last year, and Carreno Busta won that one. Year before, Sinner loses in the first round to James Duckworth. Like, Canada was never his best event, so this really just came out of nowhere. I mean, it really felt, but people were waiting for a long time. When was Jannik going to win his first Masters? He's been around for a long time. He's still a young player at 21 years old. I mean, people saw him when he reached to the quarterfinals of Roland Garros back in 2020 as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old, whatever it was, I think 19-year-old. And I don't know, it's crazy. He's been around a long time. And he's just been steadily improving, getting better. People have been hyping him up for a while. He started getting a little bit overshadowed by Alcaraz, you might even say, that this kid who was like 18, 19 years old suddenly went up to number 1 in the world, and suddenly people weren't talking about Sinner as much. But listen, he's still a very exciting, talented, and great player, and people have been waiting for him to win a Masters, and we finally got it. But yeah, before I get into Sinner, I want to talk about the obvious, that this is the first video that I posted on this channel where I'm showing my face. I'm hoping to do a lot more of this. I have ideas for content to do, so hopefully it's not the last either. Yeah, but I just have a little bit of a setup here. Hopefully I can use this kind of same setup. Obviously this isn't the first time I've shown my face at all on Tennis YouTube, Quality Shot Tennis. I do live streams over there for their channel, which is great. That's a great channel over there, and I'm going to be doing a lot more different kinds of content, live streams and other stuff as well, hopefully on that channel as well, which I'm excited for. But yeah, there's stuff coming up, and it should be good. But yeah, about Jannik Sinner. So he gets to number 6 in the world. He started the season at number 17 in the world, which, it doesn't just sound crazy now that he started the season at number 17 in the world. It was weird at the time. Like, it was like, how can he possibly be number 17 in the world? Medvedev was number 12 in the world. Sinner was number 17. The rankings were really weird for certain parts at the start of the season. I mean, they showed the results that happened last year, but it just didn't feel right with Sinner and Medvedev in particular. Medvedev obviously rose up right back right away, and Sinner as well. I mean, he went up to a career high number 8 in the world right after Miami, where he reached the final. He reached 3 Masters semifinals in a row in the Sunshine Double, playing Alcaraz both times in the semifinals. In Indian Wells he lost, in Miami he won. His first win over world number 1. And then in Monte Carlo, he had, I thought, his best chance to win a Masters. He was playing Holger Rune in the 3rd round, and he won the first set 6-1. And he played a super tight match. He had tons of chances, and he lost 7-5 in the 3rd set. He had Rublev waiting in the final. I want to talk about that Masters a little bit more later on, and I'll explain why. But yeah, he had his chances, but he had a really good season. He improved. He went up 9 spots. Once you're inside kind of the top 20, 25 in the rankings, in the professional rankings, it starts getting really hard to actually rise up in the rankings, because the people at the top, they have so many points. I mean, the most points you can get from a tournament below big tournaments like 500 points. These people, I mean, in the ATP rankings, I mean, I'll tell you what it is once you enter the top 30 real quick. Or once you enter the top 20. I mean, once you enter the top 20 in the world, the lowest is 1,685 points. That's already well over triple the most you can get from a tournament outside of the big tournaments. That's Hubie Hurkacz currently with 1,700 points. Once you enter top 15, 2,425. I mean, these are a lot of points. And you have to do this week in, week out. That's what makes a top player top player. And, but Jannik Sinner, he's consistent. And he was doing really well from Australian Open. He got to the round of 16. Lost to Tsitsipas in a tight 5-setter. He climbed back from 2 sets to love, but lost in the 5th set. Tsitsipas outplayed him, but since Australia, he won his first title in Montpellier. In Rotterdam, he beat Tsitsipas in straight sets, a good win for Sinner. And then he, playing really good tennis, he took the first set over Medvedev, who's a horrible matchup for Sinner. Sinner just can't out-hit him or find a way to get through him. And he took the first set playing high level, ran out of gas in the next 2 sets, but which were 6-2, 6-2 in the second and third. And then, then the Sunshine Double, the Monte Carlo. And then for the first time, really, in a long time, Sinner kind of dropped off a bit. He was having health issues as well. He lost to Cerundolo in Rome. He withdrew from Madrid. He was having different problems, but he found it back during Wimbledon. It was an easy draw, very easy draw at Wimbledon, but you reckon he deserved one after the crazy draws he was having all of last year and even some of the year before that. So, and yeah, he had to beat the players that were in front of him. He was playing very good tennis right from the get-go, and he got to the semifinals of a major for the first time, and I don't know how many people expected him to go all the way in Canada, although the YouTube channel I work for, we put out a draw preview on the Quality Shot Tennis channel. I think they picked Sinner to win, did Faison on the channel, but anyway, not neither here nor there. Not many people picked Sinner to win, but he went all the way in the tournament, which was very impressive. The players that he had to beat in the tournament were Matteo Berrettini, Alex de Minaur, and Tommy Paul. It was de Minaur in the final. He was up 4-0 against de Minaur up before that final. Obviously, after the final, he's up 5-0. And de Minaur just has a really tough time against Sinner. I mean, Sinner is so good in breaking the de Minaur serve, and yeah, de Minaur can break Sinner's serve now and again, but I mean, it's just Sinner can do the same thing to de Minaur, and just, I don't know, there's not much de Minaur can do to hurt Sinner. I mean, he's playing more aggressive than ever, but still his aggression is nothing for Sinner, and I don't know, Sinner just can just completely break down de Minaur's defense. He's one of the few players that can, and I don't know, we saw that a lot in the final. The first set in the final was really a tug of war. There were like 5 or 6 breaks. I think there were 5 breaks in the first set. And Sinner actually didn't serve to win the first set. He broke at love to win the opening set. And then the second set, Sinner just kind of ran away with it after a couple tight games, and then it was kind of, he was off and running. It was kind of like a tug of war first set, and then at the second set, Sinner had the whole rope to himself and ran away with the match. But yeah, Sinner is now 41-11 on the season, like I said. It was really fast conditions in Canada, but that actually really helped out Sinner. I feel like he played against guys who like fast conditions. They like indoors, like Tommy Paul, like Alex de Minaur. De Minaur does like fast conditions. He has a defensive game, but his defense isn't going to be that effective if he's not also able to step inside the court and play kind of at a faster pace. Because people have all the time in the world to kind of return and attack his defensive shots. But yeah, Sinner's now 6th in the world, and he has so many points to gain at the end of the season in Cincinnati, and then U.S. Open, he made quarterfinals, so he has to defend that, but I expect him that he can clearly do even better than quarters, and I expect him at least to make quarterfinals. And then after U.S. Open, he was injured for parts of the season. I think he had to retire in Paris in a match, whatever it was. He really is not making that many points, so he should crack the top 5 by the end of the season. He passed Casper Ruud, he passed Andrei Rublev in the rankings, so I mean, it's all there for the taking in him. And it's just great to see. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jannik Sinner. He's my favorite player on the tour because he's just clearly always working hard, clearly improving. I am high on Sinner's mentality, even though he still needs to work on the killer instinct and finishing off matches. I've seen him have some amazing comebacks. He keeps working to improve himself, and he's still honing in on the game. There's still so much for him to improve, but it's because he has so much to work with. He's just trying to find that rhythm, that momentum, and we saw how well he can play earlier in the season when he reached 3 straight Masters semifinals. When he dismantled Andrei Rublev in Miami 6-1, 6-3, playing absolutely amazing tennis right before Rublev would go on to win Monte Carlo. He's played some amazing tennis this year. Kokkinakis in Rome, where he won the first 12 points, half a golden set versus Kokkinakis. He can play some stunning tennis. He's still trying to find that game, but he's still super young. He won Toronto as a player under 22 years of age, 21 and under. He's still super young. He's got loads of time. But I want to talk about that Rublev Monte Carlo win, because when Rublev won Monte Carlo, everybody was like, yeah, that feels about right. This guy's been consistent. He's been playing high level for a long time. Pretty much everybody respects the game that he can bring. It feels about right that he finally goes all the way at a big event. And it really feels the same way. Sinner in Toronto, and he played great in Toronto, just keeps generating pace out of nowhere, hitting off the rise with huge shots off forehand and backhand, and he was very clutch on serve too. He saved 7 of 7 break points versus Berrettini in his first round match in that opening set, then like against de Minaur kind of ran away with the second set, but he was clutch on serve throughout the whole tournament. People might say he had an easy draw, but I think that this took away doubts in his own mind and also doubts of others that he can finish and go all the way at a tournament like this, because he can only beat the players that he can beat that are put in front of him. But it was very impressive for him to finish it off. And in the style he did too, winning 6-4, 6-1 in the final. And beating Tommy Paul, who just beat Alcaraz. Paul playing a really high level as well in 3 sets. And Monfils, who's playing high level too, beat Tsitsipas. So, anyway, it's a great shout out to Sinner, and now Sinner, Alcaraz, and Rune all have Masters in their belt, which is great for the sport. It's very interesting going into the U.S. Open as well. Obviously, Djokovic and Medvedev in the conversation as well, among with a few others. But it's really good to see the young guys winning big like this. It's really good to see. I still think Sinner has tons to improve. He has tons to improve on the serve. I don't think it's where he wants it to be just yet. His first serve percentage was really lackadaisical throughout the whole tournament. He was clutch when he needed it to be, but against the top guys like Alcaraz, I think they will punish it a little bit more. Like de Minaur broke a lot of times in that final. So I think he still needs to improve in a lot of ways. He does need to improve on the killer instinct, but that is getting better. And you can mention many matches this year. Fritz in Indian Wells, first win over a top 5 player. Alcaraz in Miami, first win over world number 1 Rublev, the one I mentioned earlier in Miami as well. Steph in Rotterdam. He's doing better and getting this winning this whole tournament here in Toronto, which was his 8th title. So he's getting better in that way too, and I don't know, I think he's one of the most talented players on the tour. It's amazing the kind of pace and angles and precision that he can get out of nowhere. The depth on his shots that he was getting against Tommy Paul near the end of that match was really great. His depth was great throughout the whole tournament. He really knows when to apply pressure. He just has that kind of X factor about him, which makes him so fun to watch. Very clean hitter, and I don't think he's just this big hitter. I think he's a very consistent and tough player, talented player, and for me, it makes it a very fun watch. But I'm very excited to see what Jannik does to come, and very excited to watch him. And now he's number 4 in the race, and basically being number 4 in the race means that he's had the 4th best year of anybody so far on the tour, and he is 6th in the rankings. De Minaur, who made the final, which I was very happy to see de Minaur in the final, he's now 12th in the world. His last career high ranking was number 15. He reached that career high ranking in June of 2021, June 28th, 2021, which was really wild. That he this was his first Masters quarterfinal. de Minaur. It's crazy. This was his first Masters quarterfinal. He's only been to one Slam quarterfinal. Like, he hasn't been going deep in a lot of tournaments, but he's been around. People respect the crazy things he can do on a tennis court, his fighting spirit. So it was really good to see de Minaur really kind of go all the way and reach a final. But it was Jannik Sinner's time. It was Jannik Sinner's time to really go all the way. But yeah, anyway, those were kind of my thoughts on the final, kind of my thoughts on Sinner winning. I mean, like I said, first set was a lot of breaks. Sinner really, his first serve percentage wasn't there, but he was doing really well on return and just being aggressive, and de Minaur just didn't really have that much for him. And Sinner in the second set just really stepped up, wasn't hitting a whole lot of errors. It wasn't the prettiest match from both sides. The winners to errors was still in negative percentage even for Jannik at the end of the match, but he still did what he needed to do, and he was winning the important points. And that was kind of the story for the whole tournament. And he's only improving, and I think he's going to have a great kind of career ahead of him. And yeah, I don't know. And I would just say this: everybody kind of has their own journeys, and I feel like Jannik is on his own one, but his win percentage has been getting better year by year. You see visible improvements in his game, and I'm just excited to see what's next. He kind of just sighed of relief after he won the title, because he was like, yeah, this has been welcoming. I mean, if Sinner won in Monte Carlo and Rome, even Sinner won like the U.S. Open last year, people would be like, yeah, that seems about right. That's well deserved. But I think it's good that Sinner went on the journey that he did. It only made him stronger, and I don't know. It's tough to watch though, but he finally went over the line. But yeah, those were some of my thoughts. I hope to do more videos like this. Toronto was fun. We're on to Cincinnati. There's a lot of stuff coming on this channel, on Quality Shot Tennis as well. There's a lot of stuff ahead, I hope, that we're working on. So stick around for all of that. This has been Anthony Hirsch with the Tennis Commentary Booth. Jannik Sinner grabs his first title in Toronto. Excited to see what's next for Cincinnati and U.S. Open as well. I think U.S. Open is going to be super interesting with Alcaraz, Djokovic at the top of the ranks, battling it out after Wimbledon. Medvedev always plays well in New York, and then Sinner, Rune, and now especially Sinner in the conversation as well. It's going to be super interesting. So excited for all of that, and I will see you guys at the next video.